Blessings and love, one and all. Welcome to Ascension's Love with Alice, a return to union. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here with you. I really enjoy doing these videos and reading the comments and hearing the messages when you guys private message me about them and how they resonate. So thank you so much. Welcome to all of our new subscribers. Do hit the subscribe button, or new viewers I should say. Do hit the subscribe button. It's always wonderful to be popping up onto your newsfeed and helping you navigate these wonderful energies. Wonderful being the operative word. Let's choose to see the retrogrades and the eclipses in a really positive light. And if you're a regular viewer to my channel, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for everyone that chooses to donate, offer energy by way of comment, by liking, by sharing. And if you are one of the people that donate and offer gifts of love through the gift list, thank you so much for doing that. May all that abundance return to you multifold. I could barely get my words out then. Multifold, there we go. But this video, I'm excited about this. So we are looking at the full moon in Sagittarius on May the 26th. This is a powerful space and time because it is that, no it's not, it's a lunar eclipse. So we have that lunar eclipse coming in. It's the start of this kind of mini eclipse season. We've got this eclipse coming up, and then we have a solar eclipse on the 10th of June, and then the next one will be in December. So there'll be separate videos for each one of those. We are also mid-retrograde season, so we have, Pluto in retrograde, we have Saturn in retrograde, we will have Mercury going into retrograde, so we will be in that shadow phase already, watching this video. And there are some other asteroids as well, such as Juno and Pallas Athena, etc., that will be going retrograde, or already are, and they're already lining up for Jupiter and Uranus. No. Start again. What is it? We've got Neptune and I think Jupiter. I think it's those two going retrograde next month. I'll have to double check, but stay tuned for those videos coming up as well. But for right now, I'm so excited to get started on this video. So we are looking at that wonderful lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse with the full moon in Sagittarius. It's powerful space and time. Eclipse is really kind of like that powerful expediter of energies. The emotions are intense. Things are very vivid through that space and time. Let's have a look at how it's going to be influencing us first. So we're going to first look at what energies. Look at that, 3 cards coming in. 1, 2, 3. We've got the full moon in Capricorn coming through here, disseminating moon, and the new moon in Aquarius, right? So we've got 3 energies coming in to start out this reading. So, and on the bottom of the deck, we've got that full moon in Gemini card coming through as well, which is really interesting because actually the new moon solar eclipse on the 10th of June, so that's not this video, but the one after, is actually going to be a new moon in Gemini. So that's really interesting. But let's have a little look here. So we have this energy of the full moon in Capricorn coming in for this eclipse. So Capricorn is that kind of, that driving force forward. It's kind of like the major general archetype, right? It's like the goals, there are the goals, go get them. And anything that's like really kind of been any cycle that's been tough, especially when it comes to material things or structural things or things like that, that energy is kind of, it's coming to a head, which is really cool to kind of see. And when we look at full moons, and I know this is a full moon in Sagittarius and that card is not out yet, but when we look at these energies coming through and how they're influencing and impacting this full moon, full moons kind of are about the peak of the manifestation, right? They're the peak of that, and they are they're kind of like when we have received the harvest from all the things that we've planted, all the seeds we've planted, right, in the new moon before that. And what's really interesting is that because it's an eclipse, it's like kind of exploding that energy, right? So it's so to have this card come in the end of a tough cycle, it's kind of like, okay, what has this how far back can this cycle go? Well, it can be a very reoccurring one, right? A very big one, a very long one. There is something here that's ready to kind of close up on itself, right? And actually breathe through the energy, and release the energy and be in gratitude and be in thanks afterwards, because that's what we want to do around a full moon, right? Fully pregnant with that full moon energy. And we've got bring love into the situation with this new moon in Aquarius energy coming in as well, which is part of this, coming in as the energy for part of this eclipse. So bringing love into the situation. It's kind of like, look at what she's doing here. And I'm getting very drawn to this vase that she has with all this water coming in, and kind of like the waters of initiation, clearing and cleansing and purifying and washing away anything that just really doesn't serve anymore. It's kind of like going, okay, well, we're done with that. Thanks so much. Thank you and goodbye. So really, really fascinating energy to start this reading with, just to kind of introduce things. But I really would love to pull some cards to have a look at how the energy of the eclipse specifically, so the eclipse aspect, is going to influence us. So let's have a little look here. So it is a lunar eclipse. So what wonderful energies do we have coming in from that lunar eclipse? How is it going to impact us? Power of joy. We've got Lord Maitreya coming in here. We've got that trust with Vishnu, and we've got drink more water. Once again, drawn to the water, ocean. Really powerful energies, right? And look at that Merlin on the bottom of the deck, energy healing. I love working with Merlin. He's one of my faves. Not that we can have favorites, but he does a lot of work with me, so I appreciate that energy. And look at this rainbow coloring coming in here with him, and once again this rainbow coming in there. Now what's really wonderful is, you know, oftentimes we can look at these types of readings, you know, like eclipses and things like that, and we can go, oh well, you know, it might be a bit intense and this, that and the other. Yeah, but you know what's coming through here? We've got all this rainbow energy, this light, this healing, this joy, end of a tough cycle. What a really wonderful way. And you're probably catching this on the camera as well, but there is a lot of sunlight blazing into this video right now, which is making the image very, very bright. So I hope that you're all able to continue watching this. But we've got Lord Maitreya here, and that Maitreya, you know, the Buddha, that's that Christ-like energy, you know, believe it or not, right? It's you know, Christ isn't simply this person that was walking the earth maybe 2,000 years ago, but it's a title, right? It's a title, it's an energy, it's the divine masculine energy. You know, you've got the feminine Christ, which is the divine feminine energy, that's Sophia, and then you've got the masculine Christ, which is that, you know, that Christ grid, that Christ consciousness, that golden rainbow light. And it's like, to start out this energy, to start out this reading about this this eclipse and what it's bringing, you know, is really, really wonderful. And I love, you know, this is a lunar eclipse, right? It's not a solar eclipse, it's a lunar eclipse. And I find that really fascinating, you know, because you know, for it to be a full moon anyway, the moon is opposite the sun, right? You know, it's like, you know, it's sun, earth, moon, right? So that the moon is reflecting all of that. And that's why that water element comes in. And look, there is so much water here, right? You know, we've got Vishnu walking on the water, trusting that the water has got him, right? You've got ocean coming in here saying drink more water. And that's, you know, this is actually really, really key to what is going to come through here with this, you know, with this eclipse, right? Because the water is purifying, you know, it carries Christ-like energy. We really need to remember that, because you know, this eclipse really feels like it's going to be about building that trust with everything and everyone around you, you know, and kind of really understanding how the law of attraction is going to work, the law of attraction, and drawing that energy in, you know, drawing that energy and drawing in your bliss, your joy, what it is that you actually want, bringing love into the situation. And we can do that actually with a glass of water. You know, we can do that every time we come into contact with water, right? With the element of water. You know, every time you take a bath, a shower, wash your hands, you know, visualize that rainbow golden light within it, you know, bathing, cleansing, clearing you. You know, if you're washing your hands, visualize it on your hands, bringing kind of like bringing that Midas touch, you know, especially this being Capricorn energy here coming in with this card. You know, that's very goal orientated, right? And you know, the Capricorn does have the tail of a mermaid, right? So it's like that goat, but it mixes with the water element, and we've got that coming in so profoundly here. And you know, the moon, she does influence the tides, the oceans, our waters within us, whether you're male or female, whether you have a moon cycle, also known as menstrual cycle, or not. You know, it influences us and it influences our emotions, right? And although eclipses tend to bring in this intense emotion, it's fascinating because it's actually, it feels like it's more, instead of bringing in intense emotion, it feels like it's more purifying for us. It's initiating us, it's bathing us, it's baptizing us. That's what it feels like is coming through here, which is really a really gorgeous energy, because especially because we have and we are in Pluto retrograde, Saturn retrograde, we've got Mercury retrograde coming up. So to kind of have this energy in between everything else is really promising. You know, this is also coming off the tail end of a Pleiadian portal. So for anyone that is watching this, you know, around the time of the eclipse, the week prior, we had the Pleiadians in alignment with the sun, which is very heart opening, you know. So I find that really, really, really fascinating. And, you know, it's kind of setting the space and creating, you know, this full moon is kind of creating the space for, you know, the direction, the guidance. And I love actually that the full moon in Gemini card is here alongside all of this, because what is it there is something happening with Gemini. Obviously we are now in Gemini season, so happy birthday to the Geminis watching this. But there is something happening at the end of May, and I can't quite remember what it is, but there is something happening, you know, with the energy of Gemini, and that's very much to do with soul path and things like that. So actually with this coming in and that message popping into my mind here, look at that, emotions running high underneath there. That's really interesting as well, that card is here, because we were just talking about how usually it does bring these intense emotions. You know, when you have an eclipse, it's intense emotion, but it actually feels like, no, you're going to get the clarity through this water. You're going to get the clarity through this energy, rather than being bowled over by it. It's like you've had enough of that in the weeks coming up to this, and now it's kind of like, no, baptizing ourselves now and purifying and cleansing ourselves and refreshing, right? On a practical note, I'm just getting the message here, please do drink lots of water to help this energy run through as it needs to help the ideas run into your mind. But like I say, I can't remember exactly what is happening with Gemini at the end of May, but there is something happening at the end of May with Gemini, and it's really going to help us be aligned with our soul mission and our path and what it is that we're meant to be doing. So that's what this card is saying with that. Now let's have a look at the energy of Sagittarius specifically. So how is the Sagittarius aspect of this full moon lunar eclipse going to influence us and going to assist us in our relationships, in our soul journeys and things like that? Once again, silver lunar dragon, a lot of feminine energy coming in here. This is bathing us in divine feminine light. So not only through the stars, but also through the waters. This is about cooperation, collaboration, the causal chakra, which is found either a few inches above your crown or at the back of the top back of your head, depending on where you resonate with that. This divine feminine light here coming in, and it is a very feminine space, right, because it's a lunar eclipse, not a solar eclipse, a lunar eclipse. So it's kind of like all this feminine energy coming in to balance out the Capricorn, to balance out the you know, the masculine Christ-like energy. It's kind of all pairing together and bringing balance and peace. So it feels like this is going to influence our relationships and our dynamics, which is really wonderful. We've got the Omega Dragon. Look at, holy, you guys, look at this. We've got the silver lunar dragon, which is about divine feminine light. And now we've got the Omega Dragon coming in, which is about harnessing the divine feminine power of creation. This is epic. This is really, really profound. Like, to have these two cards coming out here is very, very, yeah. And I'm just cutting the deck of cards here as well. And where I cut it, we had the Magenta Dragon, which is about your soul star chakra, right? This is about your soul wisdom. So this lunar eclipse, the message that I'm receiving here from this is very keyed into this divine feminine aspect of creation, the divine feminine Christ light, that Mary Magdalene energy, the you know, the Lady Isis lineage, right? The Black Madonna lineage, all that is tied into the same thing, this very powerful divine feminine energy. And you know, I'm just going to take this moment here to say, you know, if you're new to my channel, if you are new to my offerings and what it is that I do, I am a quantum weaver. I help you clear karma. I help you bring back that ancient soul wisdom, and this is very, very poised for that to be very accessible for you, right? So to be clearing on massive amount of karma and to be bringing in ancient soul wisdom from the halls of Amenti, from your past master lifetimes. And also, you know, I do have courses available such as Intuition 101, which helps you tap into this if you're very new to working with your intuition and those subtle gifts. And I also have the Rebirthing the Goddess program, right? And they're both of those two courses that I just mentioned. They're incredibly powerful, but they're also on demand, right? You don't have to you don't have to be there live, because I have a lot of students that are in very different time zones, right? So they're pre-recorded courses. So if that calls to you, do feel very welcome to have a look in my Facebook group, the Isis Dream Temple. Please feel welcome to join that space, and check out my Facebook page and Instagram, Ascension to Love with Alice, you know, because I have that information on there as well. But it'll be very, very helpful for you if you are looking to actually really tap into that, because the feminine energy, she is very graceful, she's compassionate, she's that she's the compassionate leader, right? And that's what we need to bring in here, and that's what's going to be pouring in abundance with this lunar eclipse, right? You know, the intention of what it is that you want to create, and that is created in that cosmic womb space. It's created within your own womb space, right? If you're new to things like sacred sexuality, if you're new to things like tantra, if you're new to things like you know, womb healing, if that scares you a little bit, that's okay. That's okay, right? We hold a lot of trauma in that womb space, whether you're male or female, you know, whichever anatomy you're in. But the thing is, it's time to release that fear, it's time to release that persecution, it's time to release that energy and really tap into the power that the feminine energy has. It's so, so profound. And you know, it is literally the female body that physically births the creation, right? And we have that coming in here with that cosmic womb space, you know. So that is so fun. Yeah, it's powerful. And I love that we've got all this you know, this lunar energy, this star energy, water energy coming in, and then we've got the magenta dragon, which has got flames and fire and passion, that orange energy coming in here, that magenta energy coming in here. You know, this is about awakening your soul memories. And it's funny because, you know, before pulling these 3 cards, I was like, okay, tell me about Sagittarius. And it's like, no, we want to tell you about the moon, we want to tell you about the power of this lunar eclipse still. And I'm like, okay, cool, all is well. But Sagittarius, you know, there is that luck there is that luckiness, there is that bigger picture thing. Don't get caught up in the minutiae of everything, you know. But when you pair that with this feminine energy, it's kind of, you know, you're going with the flow of things. The waves that come in, you allow yourself to surf those waves. You know, you release the pressure that you put on yourselves by kind of wanting to have that structure and wanting to have that you know, I do this at this time and I do this at this time. No, flow. This is about practicing being as well. This is about practicing being and practicing your joy, practicing your bliss. What can you do to maintain a high energy? Because that is going to be very supported through this time, right? You know, there is no specific rush in this energy as it stands to you know, to be actively doing anything right now, because it's kind of like you're attracting it and you're creating it and you're bringing it in by allowing yourself to do the healing, right? You know, that's kind of where any block is. If you've been trying to manifest something, this is where the block is. Are you allowing it in? Are you opening your arms to receive it? You know, are you allowing the healing to take place? Because this is a massive space and time for deep healing. So utilize it, you know, be in that space and that energy. Angels, guides, beautiful beings of love and light. What guidance? Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I just want to pull a card for what challenges may we face with this Sagittarius full moon lunar eclipse. What challenges may we have, may we come across? Self-reflection, yeah. And divine timing. Yeah, and you know what? That's really funny, because especially with saying, you know, allow the flow of things to kind of, you know, allowing the flow to kind of take place and happen. We may feel like we want to overanalyze. It's time to stop that, right? This isn't a time to overanalyze. It's not going to be conducive. And this divine timing here, we might find it struggling, or we might find it a challenge to kind of let everything go to divine timing, right? We might want to try and control the outcome. But let me tell you now, if you're trying to control anything, especially time, that's connecting with the ego body, right? That's not, you know, that's not you can get stung by that, right? You know, that's divine timing has its own clock, right? And it doesn't really work off time like we see it as humans, as linear. So that's really that energy there to you know, this energy coming in is to say, you know, please just let it flow. Notice when you're trying or wanting to kind of control an outcome in the space of when it happens or things like that, and just actually ask yourself, put your hands on your heart and ask yourself, actually, what am I afraid of? Why do I want to bring it through in this space and time? Why is that so important? Because that's going to be where a lot of the healing actually lies, you know. Doing things like mirror work might be difficult for you in this time as well, because you might see things that you weren't intended on seeing or that you've hidden for a long time. But that is part of the feminine energy. That's part of going into that void. That's part of going into that creation energy, because we have to create, we have to experience the death of things, right? And the death of things is not a bad thing. It's actually the opposite, because it's only once we die can we rebirth ourselves, right? And it's not that we physically are going to go anywhere. There is no such thing really as death. There is just transition, and this is a space of transition right now, you know, and to transition through something, we have to allow that rebirth energy, right? So I'm going to pull another card here. I know this has been a very kind of to the point and energetic reading, and that's exactly how, as it was meant to be apparently, but you know, it would be, because it's an eclipse reading. So let's have a little look here at one final card for guidance to really help us all make the most of this beautiful lunar eclipse. What do you have to tell us, beautiful souls? Dream guide, teacher. Yep. So, okay. And on the bottom of the deck, I have angels. Right, so that's really incredible. Wow, I love these cards. So we've got the angels on the bottom of the deck, and we've got dream guide here. So dream guide came out first. This this eclipse is really helping us. It's really helping us to discover our own way. It's kind of like tapping into our soul, right? It's our soul wisdom, our angels and our guides. You know, we have so much support in the non-physical realm. We really, really do. And that is really going to be helping us find our way here when, you know, when we kind of surrender the mind, you know, surrender that mind aspect, surrender all of that. We kind of open ourselves up to being able to connect with our guides, to be able to connect with other teachers, with our own inner teacher, right? Our soul wisdom, you know, and that's what this eclipse is all about, is actually allowing you to tap into that in a way that you never have done before. And this is really, really powerful. You know, you're going to be shown so many doors, so many opportunities, and, you know, feel into your heart space what feels the most aligned for you. Forget about everything else, forget about practicalities, forget about what you think something will be, you know, forget. And what I mean by that is, like, sometimes we choose things because we're scared of not having enough, we're scared of not being supported, we're scared of losing something. That's very fear-based. That is not in alignment with love, right? So what we do instead is we go, okay, if time, money, etc. was no barrier, was no, you know, anything like that, what could I do? What would I choose? What would my heart choose? Go with that, because when you align with that, that is when you are offered by the world all the support that you can receive. Really, when we carry on aligning with our heart and with our soul, all the answers come through, and all the guidance, all the direction arrives for us. So this is a very powerful time. It's going to be absolutely massive. Flow with the energy, drink lots and lots of water. I can't emphasize that enough. You know, it's going to be a fire moon sign, right, which can burn very brightly, so definitely a lot of water is needed there. And it's also, you know, we're in an air sign, right, for the sun, right, because the sun will be in Gemini, you know, so that fire energy mixed with the air, you know, can build a very, very big fire. So make sure we've got a lot of water here coming in, and that earth there to ground it in as well. Okay, so this really is about the power of joy, right? It really is about that power of joy. So beautiful souls, I hope this has been helpful. I'm sending you all so much love. Do feel very welcome to join the Dream Temple, which is linked in the description box below. It's always an honor to see you there, and I'm sending you so much love. Bye for now.